I'm the author of A Sudden Storm, which is my latest title for Barrington Stoke, a publisher that I always enjoy working with. A Sudden Storm is the story of a young man called Acclaimed, whose friends and family knew him as Ricky, who disappeared on a night out in October 1997, and whose body was found tragically a week later in the Thames in Kingston. Ricky's case is one that has been known to me for a very, very long time. The police investigate his death, and despite being told by Ricky's family and also by Ricky's friends who were with him that night that they had been involved in a racist incident, they'd been attacked, the police decided that Ricky's case wasn't murder and wasn't the result of a racist attack. From that point, Ricky's mother, Devriel, has been fighting for justice for her son. And this year in 2023, the Metropolitan Police have decided to reinvestigate the case, which is incredibly late, but at least is very welcome. It's welcome that they're doing that. You can, if you Google Devriel, you can follow her campaign for justice for her son. And I urge you all to do so. My story is inspired by the tragic incidents around Ricky's death, but it's not exactly about Ricky Real himself. I wanted to write a story that sort of took in elements of the case, but at the same time was a kind of slightly wider thing. So I decided to focus on the young man, my narrator, wearing a turban. Now, Ricky, despite being of Sikh origin, didn't wear a turban. Most young Sikhs, in my experience, don't. I also come from a Sikh family, so it's the Sikh aspect of it and the turban aspect of it resonated with me deeply, because members of my family wear turbans and because of the sort of Sikh aspect of it. It also resonated because it happened a few years after the murder of Stephen Lawrence and Roland Adams and so many other people who have been attacked or killed because of the way they look, or because of the color of their skin, or because of their ethnicity, or whatever reason prejudiced killers sort of come up with to take the lives of innocent human beings. So I wanted to write the story. It kind of fit into my kind of sort of work over the years. So since 2001, I've been probably 70% of my work is about everyday British social realism. It's about everyday lives. It's about the themes and the sort of issues within sort of multicultural Britain. And Ricky's story has always been there. It was always there in the back of my head as something that I wanted to explore. It's a story that's very, very simple. You've got a narrator who is a proud turban wearer, as I said before, who it's his birthday and he decides to go out to the cinema and to Nando's along with a load of his teenage friends, like regular British teenagers, and they are abused. So he's abused, one, because he wears a turban, and two, because he is with a couple of white females who are part of his group, and the racist that abuses him doesn't like that. So he is abused, they are attacked, they're chased, and the story kind of is pretty simple. It's a pretty straightforward story. It's written in a very simplistic way, but the idea is to bring out themes that can be discussed with young people around identity, around prejudice, around hatred, and that's something that I'm hoping that A Sudden Storm will do. It's not unusual for me to write this kind of story. It's the kind of thing that I have done in the past. I'm always really keen and really excited to take my stories, my Barrington Stoke ones particularly, out into schools to work with groups of young people and to discuss those themes. And A Sudden Storm I've already been taking it to schools, and it's already creating discussion. It's already sort of creating a nice, calm, safe atmosphere in which we can discuss ideas around identity and where hatred comes from. And that's a massive part of my inspiration and my motivation for writing. Any half intelligent human being knows that hatred is not intrinsic. We're not born with it. We're not born with prejudice. These things are taught. And so my sort of discussions with young people center around how and why this happens. Why is hatred? Why is prejudice taught? Why as a society do we allow this kind of thing to linger? Where does it come from? And I think that's vitally important. So alongside the super readability of it and the kind of inclusivity of what Barrington Stoke do brilliantly well, it's always a pleasure then to be able to place a story within that sort of framework that is a story that's really, really important to me as a writer. And the story of Ricky Reel really is. Once again, if you don't know the case, please do look up Sukhdev Reel and Ricky Reel's case. Maybe follow Sukhdev and see what is going on, what the latest is with the campaign to get justice for Ricky. Always a pleasure to write for Barrington Stoke. I hope if you read the book you enjoy it, and that's a little bit about it. So thank you very much. Cheers.